Imagine a summer where the sun just forgets its warmth. A year where June brings snowstorms and August brings a killing frost. It sounds like something out of a movie, but for millions of people, this was their terrifying new reality. And this wasn't just a feeling, people were writing about it. Take this from an 1852 edition of the Albany Almanac, looking back on the summer of 1816. It describes a sun that offered no heat, and a world just draped in this dark, mournful color. Something was deeply, fundamentally wrong with the sky. Over in New England, the year got a chilling nickname, 1800 and froze to death. Just let that sink in. Snow fell in Albany in June. Frosts hit Virginia in late August, completely wiping out the crops. It was a winter that just wouldn't end. So what could possibly cause a planetary deep freeze like this? For the people shivering through 1816, it was a total mystery. The answer, though, was half a world away, where a mountain had just spoken with catastrophic force. To really get a sense of this, we have to go back to April of 1815 to Mount Tambora in Indonesia. Its eruption was on a scale that's almost impossible to imagine, 100 times more powerful than the famous 1980 eruption of Mount St. Helens. It's still the largest volcanic eruption we have in all of recorded history. The blast itself shot an unbelievable 38 cubic miles of ash, rock, and gas straight up into the stratosphere. This created this persistent veil of sulfur dioxide that, according to the US National Park Service, eventually grew to the size of Australia. It basically threw a blanket over the entire globe. And this timeline just shows you how that planetary veil started to make its presence felt long before the cold really set in. All these strange things started happening. By the summer of 1815, people in London were seeing these impossibly spectacular sunsets. Then, that winter, red and yellow snow fell in Italy. These were the first warning signs of the climate chaos that was on its way. But here's where this story gets really interesting. This isn't just about a cold year. The key thing to understand is that this disaster had consequences that absolutely no one could have predicted. The volcanic ash, it seeded this bizarre and unforeseen harvest of art, literature, and technology that we're all still living with today. So, picture this, a group of young English writers, we're talking Mary Shelley, Lord Byron, they're on a summer holiday in Switzerland. But it's ruined by what Shelley herself called an almost perpetual rain. To pass the time, stuck inside, Lord Byron comes up with a contest. Who can write the best ghost story? Well, trapped by Tambora's weather, that gloomy holiday gave birth to two absolute cornerstones of the horror genre. And there's a really powerful subtext here. As detailed in the analysis, The Stratospheric Veil, Frankenstein's monster, rejected, wandering, feared, is this incredible allegory for the starving masses who were roaming Europe during what was called the last great subsistence crisis of the Western world. Art was reflecting a really terrifying reality. The fallout was also intensely practical. See, widespread crop failures meant there were no oats to feed the horses. And with the primary engine of transport and farming literally starving to death, society had a major crisis. How do you move people and goods without horses? This emergency demanded a totally new solution. And this isn't just a theory. The American Society of Mechanical Engineers actually confirms this connection. This German inventor, Karl von Drais, he specifically created his running machine, or Laufmaschine, as a direct mechanical substitute for the horses that were lost to the famine caused by Tambora. So yeah, the bicycle was born from a volcano. Okay, so remember those bizarre sunsets back in London? Well, for 3 solid years, those volcanic aerosols in the stratosphere created skies of this otherworldly red, orange, and yellow. And artists of the time, like the great J.M.W. Turner, they just painted what they saw. And in doing so, they unknowingly created a priceless scientific record. It's really remarkable. As research published by the European Geosciences Union shows, scientists today can analyze the red to green ratio in the skies of these paintings. And that lets them measure the density of atmospheric pollution from 200 years ago. These masterpieces have become accidental yet stunningly accurate climate data. So when you start to piece it all together, the legacy of this one eruption is just staggering. The echoes of Tambora aren't just in our atmosphere. They're in our libraries, our museums, and on our streets. This table really lays out that incredible butterfly effect. Stratospheric ash didn't just cause weird sunsets, it gave us a new tool for climate science. The perpetual rain didn't just ruin a holiday, it gave us Frankenstein. A famine of horses didn't just create a transport crisis, it gave us the bicycle. And those widespread crop failures in the eastern US even helped spur mass migration westward, literally shaping the map of America. It's such a profound lesson in how interconnected everything is, right? How one event can just ripple through time and completely redefine culture, art, and technology. And it leaves us with a question that really resonates today. If a single geological event could so drastically rewrite the human story, what narrative is our own changing atmosphere writing for the future?